encourage you to begin to think. Think about your circumstances, think about your environment, think about how responsible you are being. Think about your contribution to society, to the community. Think about what you can do differently. Think about how you can help others. And then after all of that thought, we want you to pray.
As a man or as a woman, that first responsibility is to God, to be God conscious.
We have to have people to stand up today in our community. Everybody has to be responsible to get the message out.
Hearing the word of God and remembering God and being conscious of God would transform your life.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Alim Ali, and I'm your host, and I would like to welcome you to FAIM Media Group, FAIM, Friends and Associates of Imam Muhammad. Imam Muhammad's astute leadership, profound social commentary on social major issues, his piercing scripture insight into the Bible and Torah and Quran, and his unique ability to apply scriptural interpretation to social issues has brought him numerous awards and high honors. He was at the forefront of interfaith dialogue and cooperation. He was the leading call toward human excellence. The objective of FAIM is to promote the correct human understanding, to respect the human variation, to advance human culture, to promote education, to promote family life, business life, and peace and the rule of civilized law. As citizens of America, we are taking the responsibility to advance the human family as an extension of all families. And as we look at the natural signs in nature, we witness a consistency of balance. FAIM is about media balance, with a belief in the oneness of God, the oneness of humanity, and the oneness of human nature. I would like to point to community progress, culturally, socially, and economically. Today we have one of our founders of FAIM, Brother Bashir, an entrepreneur, and a special guest, Sister Amelia Otero, CEO of Placenta Commercial Kitchen. Commercial Kitchen is a nonprofit entity which opened up in 2008 as an educational business training center promoting community progress for the diverse Oakland Bay Area community. I would like to point to this as a understanding as what we are all about, what we're trying to do. The Quran says, and of his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the diversity of your tongues and colors. Surely these are signs for those who understand. This points to the human variation of skin color and language. Well, that is a human equation, and it is a sign of God, and it is here to stay, and it will be here forever. So when you see people from Africa, Europe, China, South America, you are seeing the extension of the human family. We at FAIM are pushing the human throne, not as an empty vessel, but as the most profound human makeup to move along and to make progress. Miss Amelia, please tell us about yourself and what you represent.
Well, I'm going to make it short because it's a long story. I was born in Mexico and moved to this country, not because I want a better life, but because I want to make the life better for others. And so I'm an activist to begin with. I started as an activist in South California. Then I moved to Oakland, and I saw there was a tremendous necessity of improve the way of living of the people, especially back then in my community and the Hispanic community. And so I tried to figure it out, how can I do better for them, not for me, because I was not looking to empower myself or to make money or anything like that. I was looking a way to empower them and help them make money so they can provide better life for the children. For me, children were very important back then and still are. The the thing that I start like with after school program, I thought because it was very important that I teach children there is another opportunity. So I start with after school program. I believe I was the one that started an after school program free of charge back in 1997. And so I start with 50 children, and then in a few months I have like 150 children, but with no place to rehearse or to teach them, you see, arts. And it's a profession. I'm a professional writer. And so I learned when I was, growing up back in Mexico, dance classes and acting and things like that. So for me, I just wanted to share with the children of Oakland, you see, certain abilities that I have already since I was little. And so it was amazed what happened in a couple of years. I have a place to rehearse with them, teach them. I used to write and produce and direct my small plays for children here in Fruitvale area, and then around Oakland colleges and universities with the children. So I was teaching them. Every time I used to take them to universities, you see, you can do this. You can, be whatever you want to be. And long before we have Obama, now it's easy to tell kids. You can be whatever you want to be, even president of the United States. So after that, I see this tremendous necessity for the parents. I was almost putting together the after school program for children so they can have a place to go after school. They don't have to be in the street or doing bad things, but to go and continue whatever we were teaching. And so this man, he was like probably in his 60s. He went and knocked at my door, and he said that he needs some help. And no, he said, we need some help. And I said, sure. How can I help you? And he said, no, help us. Yeah. And I said, who is us? To make the story short, he was one of the street vendors already existing in Oakland.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they were selling fruit and tamales and the buns or Albertson push cars, and so they told me the problem that they have, and so what problem they have was the police was harassing them, the city of Oakland was harassing them, the health department was harassing them for selling food in the streets. What they didn't see is what I saw back then. I saw a great potential because, when I saw the fruit, I said, what a great thing to bring to our communities, healthy eating. And the tamales, well, they get this breakfast, but the fruit for me was a great potential. And I see everything almost in front of me. When I started doing a little bit of research, I didn't see nothing to show me how to do this. Because I used to be an organizer. I organized 100,000 people back in South California and even here in Oakland. Mm-hmm. But to organize 25 competitors, merchants, it's not an easy task. They hate each other, because they think, they thought of this is my competitor, it's not my friend. So it took me like 6 months to bring all of them together. Yeah. You see, we used to have a house on Fruitvale, and just to make dinner for them or lunch and invite all of them and to eat tacos or something typical of us, our culture. And I started being like a mother. You have to get along with this one here, and you have to get along with everybody. And so what happened is, 6 months later, they all were treating each other with respect and treating each other like a family. And I was very happy of my accomplishment just in that, you know, because people used to tell me, like, you got to be kidding me, they're never going to get along.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Brother Bashir used to always talk about you. I think he talked about you to me for months and months and months and months. So I'd like to get perspective from Brother Bashir in terms of, when did you first meet Miss Amelia?
I met Miss Amelia like 10 years ago. One of the things that motivated me, I was invited to a party that was held at the La Placita on Fruitvale. And we were sitting downstairs, and I didn't know who Miss Amelia was. She came down and we started talking, and for some reason the subject got on race. And so I told her, I said, you know, I don't know whether you know Imam W.D. Muhammad, but he's my leader, and he said that he can solve the racial problem overnight. And it's not, he said, let's go to our first identity. It's not black or white or Hispanic or African. It's human identity. And when I said that, I saw her light up. She lit up, you know, and we became friends, and you know, ever since then, we just been real good friends. And I always tell people about Miss Amelia. I say she has all kind of plaques on her wall. When you go in her office, she got all these accomplishments on her wall. She's like a miniature Cesar Chavez. Or Mother Teresa. But, you know, what motivated me to really pursue our meeting was what God tells us in our holy book, the Quran.
Yes. God
said that He created us as tribes and families, that we know each other and not despise each other. And He said the most honored of you is the one who is most most conscious of God. You know, so this is what really motivated me to really get to know Miss Amelia more. And the more I got to know her, the more I loved her, because she has a big heart for humanity. You know, her works is not just about the Hispanic community, because when you go to La Placita, you see all nationalities there working in that kitchen. You know what I mean? So this is what motivated me. I'm always looking to go forth to meet people, because Imam, our leader, you know what he taught us, Brother Muhammad? We need allies. Yeah. He said we need to get with like-minded people that think like we think. And me and Miss Amelia, we definitely think alike, man. We're about helping people. We're about bettering our community, bettering our families, you know what I mean? And so when we meet a person like that, we should really value a person like Miss Amelia.
Yeah, it's extremely important. We have this human makeup, and we have the same human pattern. It's called a fitra. We all have the same human pattern. As human beings, we all come from the same essence, the same soul. So when you promote the human throne in terms of whatever we do, culturally, socially, economically, politically, that will set us up for progress. And that's extremely important.
That's exactly what I believe.
Yeah. So when we look at ourselves as human beings, we look at ourselves as potential friends, so we can work together to make life better for all people. And that's we have to do it, because we look at what's going on in the country, and then we have to look at things and say, look, things can be better, and they should be better, but we have to make them better.
And especially if you have a mission.
Yes,
like
yes.
Something is telling us we have to do it.
Yes.
It's not if we want to do it.
So, Bashir, anything else?
Oh yeah, well, what I like to say is that you know, Miss Amelia has been providing a place there. It's located now on 4559, right?
4559 International Boulevard. It's a commercial kitchen. Yeah.
Yes, it's a commercial kitchen, where you can go there and you can talk with Miss Amelia and find out the rates to use the kitchen there. You know what I mean? Miss Amelia has, I know last time I talked, there was about 100 vendors or more that work out of that commercial kitchen, you know? And that's very important because a lot of people have good food that they want to sell, and you know, they try to sell it out of their homes, which is not good, you know, but you can go to the commercial kitchen. It's approved by the health department.
But Bashir, we're going to stop and take a break.
Okay.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much.
We want to encourage you to begin to think. Think about your circumstances, think about your environment, think about how responsible you are being. Think about your contribution to society, to the community. Think about what you can do differently. Think about how you can help others. And then after all of that thought, we want you to pray.
As a man or as a woman, that first responsibility is to God, to be God conscious.
We have to have people to stand up today in our community. Everybody has to be responsible to get the message out.
Hearing the word of God and remembering God and being conscious of God will transform your life.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
To continue our program, Ms. Amelia, could you give us detailed information about the commercial kitchen and what it's all about and how it operates?
In 2001, after 2 or 3 years of fighting back to legalize the Street Vendors Association or the food vending in Oakland, I sit down for many times and many hours with the health department, more than the city, because the city don't even know what I was talking about back then. But I knew the health department, he wants something more solid for me to provide to them so they can say, okay, we're gonna let you do what you're telling us you want to do. So we come with that thing of a commercial kitchen. A commercial kitchen is just only for caterers and mobile food vendors. If you don't own a food truck or a food trailer, but if you are a caterer, you're allowed to use our kitchen. It's not a restaurant.
Okay.
So because it was not a restaurant, I have to come with the plan of what is it that is a commercial kitchen, because it was no commercial kitchen, not in the area or in the country. You see, I tried to, get in touch with other people that I thought that was doing the same thing, like selling hot dogs. And but no, they don't use a commercial kitchen. So I start with this idea. Okay, so I'm going to design the first commercial kitchen in the country, so they can take my blueprint and I was going to share it, which I did, to the rest of the country that wanted to do a commissary. We used to call them commissaries.
So people come and they cook. They cook their food in your kitchen?
Yes,
And they package it and then sell it?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the only way. This is it was the agreement with the health department. If they come and prepare in your kitchen, we're going to issue their health permits, including for the caterers. People that don't own a food truck, but they want to sell food to the public. They can come to the commercial kitchen, prepare, and certify and sell it to the public, like deliveries.
Yes.
You used to do that.
Yeah.
So that's what we, I designed it, the
Okay.
first one.
Okay.
The first one was not that good because it didn't work for me, because it was either too small or I didn't have the right equipment.
Okay.
because you know is no such a thing as here's a pamphlet, you can see how you design a commercial kitchen. You see, everything was getting it by dream, if you wanted to say it that way, because I cannot explain it. You see, because I'm not an architect, I'm not a professional designer. I just happen to have those ideas in my head all the time, and how to design. And I did the first design, and it was just like you know, I have the knowledge of architecture, you know, and I don't.
Right.
So so when I finally presented to the health department, they said okay. So then the street vendors, by that time they were very close to legalize them also in the city of Oakland. And I sit down with them too back then to show them how to do the applications. I teach them, you know, how to make it simple, because most of the people, they don't either write or read English, or they just don't have no idea how to fill a professional application. So I make it as simple as was possible, and everything was you know, on the wheel.
That's very interesting and very good, because what happens is that as you have a commercial kitchen on that level, that eliminates a potential health problem.
Oh yeah, well that was my goal. That was my first concern, because many of those people back then, brother, what happened is they were preparing, you know, in their patios, behind, in dirt, behind their houses, and dirty garages, and then it was my concern. So it was my concern when back then, health department, Don Atkinson was this guy amazing, because he believed in me. He believed in my vision. He believed in the potential that the street vending have, and we used to sit down for hours, you see, about how to design and how to remove those people from behind their houses in a dirty environment, and bring them to a clean environment, which was the commercial kitchen. And is when I started designing, you know, the kitchen. And some people still until today, they think it's just a restaurant. No, 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 no. The commercial kitchen is totally different than a restaurant. We have to have closed doors, you know, and only the members or well, you can say clients, you know, can allowed to be in there when they're cooking. I was very protected of the recipes. You see, I don't, when there's some people that has these amazing recipes, I give them the time. You see, when there's hardly not many people in the kitchen, so they can protect their what they do with their family recipes.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, you can very easily contaminate something.
Oh yes.
It's don't take much, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you can, one mistake can cause a whole line of production. So, and I'm saying this to say that to have a commercial kitchen on the health level, that's amazing.
It is amazing, especially if we follow the rules. For example, I have 2 or 3 sections. One section, you only use those tables to slice meat, for say, you know, beef. And the chicken has to go in the other section. You see, fruit, other section. The fruit tables, you cannot use the fruit tables to prepare anything that have to do with grease or food. So we all that we put it together back in the 2000, the year 2000, because you know, for that same thing, because we knew that you can contaminate chicken and pork, for say, chicken and pork, especially if they were cooking, making tamales. So, and I was like the number 1, and so we decided so they can, because I cannot be teaching all the people. So what I bring the idea to the health department, okay, why don't you provide classes to teach them, you see, how to manage their food and protect for that. The same reason that you were concerned. And so we work together very close. The health department, the city of Oakland, the police, and Emilio Otero. Okay, was then, and when I start putting everything together, that I start receiving a lot of support from those people. The community was behind me 100%.
And you know something? I mean, I can see how that can turn into major industry.
Yes.
Major industry. I mean, big money industry.
It just was amazing,
Yeah.
amazing that people think, and I don't want to be too open,
No, that's
because
okay.
you see, I don't run a push car or a food trailer, I run a commissary,
Yeah.
a commercial kitchen. But believe me, some people think that because they're selling food in the street in a push car, per se, you know, oh, poor people. No. No, they're not poor. They're making plenty of money, and so it's a lot of money in that industry.
Yeah.
So much that right now, you see, and this is statistics, there is $27 billion a year in the food vending, the street vendors business, which I call a new food industry. I put that, and I want them to stick with people, because you see, this is a new food industry. 10 years ago, even the restaurant owners were against me. That lady is the one that we blame her. You see, and then I start telling them, you see, join us. You have a restaurant. Nothing is preventing you to, you know, get your own food truck and go around the city selling your food that you're selling in a restaurant. I can assure you one thing. You're going to sell more in the street going around than in your restaurant. And now is what happened.
Yes.
So,
you know, Mr. Millie, that's amazing. Our leader, Imam Muhammad, years ago, he talked about from dust to industry.
Yes.
You know, and so when we look at that, and he says that inside the human makeup, you have that potential for industry. So what you're talking about is from dust to industry. Dust is something small to something big.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's amazing, brother.
You know, and now you have 5-star restaurants that have crustaceans. You got food courts all around.
yes.
The Bay Area.
They're making more money. I can assure you one thing, Bashir. They making more money in their food trucks than in their own restaurant, the sitting, you know, restaurant. And then, but let me tell you this, brothers. It took me like 5 years to convince my community, the African American community, to get into this business. I mean, it was just like, please, brothers, come and join us. Remember, come and join us. It's money. Money in selling. No, you're not going to sell tacos. You have New Orleans, you know, cuisine. You have, you know, your own tradition. You see, this is what I want. I want to, you know, to make it international. This is not about tacos no more. So it took me 5 years until, you know, they start coming in now. And then we have few, you know, brothers that were selling food from New Orleans. What do you call that?
Jambalaya.
So, and then I start getting also my sisters from Africa. You know, that I don't know there was a thing between African Americans and Africa. But I start bringing them, and let me just gonna be brief on this, because this is something that's so I'm sure already know that. You know, one day I went into the kitchen and I see all this. I know they were from Africa because they speak their language, different language. And then I was so happy. But then when I look at their feet, they were barefooted. And I said, oh no. I run and shut the doors. Because I said, what about the health department come here? But I was so excited because they were singing and they were preparing their food, and you see, and then I told one of the sisters, hey sister, but they're not supposed to be without shoes. They can't cook if they put the shoes on.
Right.
So they were natives, Native Africans. But then it was amazing for me. You know, I went to South Africa like 30 years ago. You know, so I was very impressed with what's happening back then. I'm talking about 30 years ago. And So that was my goal here
Yeah.
in this kitchen. I want to have people from all over the world,
Yeah.
you see, and especially Africa, because Africa is like something that is very close to my heart, and it is something that moved me, and so that's why I'm planning right now to, here in Oakland, I did what I have to do.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
I open a big door, I teach them how to do it and where to do it, and that's it, you see. But now I'm going to Europe because this program is going to be global.
Yes,
So
yes.
where am I going to go? To Bristol. Why? Because it's the largest African community in Bristol.
Bristol.
The largest. And it's like, I believe, 50-something% of Africans, you see. And I know they're struggling.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm going to England and then to Germany because it's another big community, the immigrant community there.
Refugees.
Refugees. That they need some help. And so this project, I know that is going to work, and it's working. It works here in Oakland.
It work here?
Yeah,
I don't know how many millionaires, but they're not going to say anything, you know. They
Yeah.
keep it quiet. But,
Yeah.
but I'm the only one that struggles, but I don't care because what I'm sharing to the world is something that God shared with me.
Yes.
Because this is what God-given idea,
Yeah.
God-given knowledge. Because
Yes.
it's not because I knew about business administration and architecture and putting things together. No, God gave me all that information.
Yes.
And you know, and it was no other way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, what's important about this is that I'm going to say the cultural dynamics was able to change. Okay, the cultural dynamics, including the flow of the economics, people's lives changed.
Yes.
People were able to take care of their children, educate their children, take care of their family, and that's what we're all about.
Yes. Yes.
That's what we're all about. So thank God for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
thank
did
God for you.
thank
Yeah,
God
for you.
because
Yes,
He
yes.
chose me. I know that.
Yeah.
And maybe you see, I didn't accept it that much in the past, but now at 70, I do accept that it was God doing because I know I can feel it.
Yes.
And it's no, I'm not a rich person. You know, you know, I live as every day. But I'm going to Europe with a project that I believe so much, with no money. But I know it's going to work because I know I'm going to help people, and it's what it matters to me.
Miss Amelia, the leader in the high-tech industry, at one point he was going to school, but he went into his garage. No, he went to his garage and came out with an innovation that maybe he couldn't have gotten in college. And I'm saying this to say, I love school, you know, and I've been to school, I've been to college on the undergraduate level and the graduate level. But there's certain things that's bigger than education. When God touches you,
Yes.
that's big.
Yeah.
That's big, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
know.
God is just amazing.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
you see, I love all religion. I believe
Yeah.
in the Quran.
Yes,
I
yes.
cover my hair, but my head, but not because I'm a Muslim. Because this is, you know, I don't know if that's the right word to say, to protest against whoever is running the White House today,
Yeah.
against Muslims. So
Yeah.
I cover my hair. You see my head. So in protest of what he wanted to do, you know, with the Muslim community. I think the Islam is one of the, you know, the best ever book in history of mankind. And I follow, but also, you see, it's all religions are good.
Yeah.
So because I'm so universal, I welcome all the religious beliefs as long as they don't, you know, push me to be, you know, aggressive or do, you know, the wrong things.
That's a good
Well,
point.
I like to say that your characteristics, your character, in many ways, shine Islamically.
Yes,
You know,
I know.
like my mother, you know, she she never took the declaration of faith. She never said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, but her life reflected that of a Muslim. You know what I mean? When you take the label off, you know, the whole essence of my mother was Muslim.
I read
You
the
know, and
Quran.
she was a freedom
Quran.
fighter too. You know, she did a lot of great work in the Richmond community. She was a great leader. The National Council of Negro Women, the Bethune Foundation. She was the president. She only had a 6th grade education, but I say it all that to say that you are, your essence, your character reflects that of a Muslim. You know?
I remember this dream that I had many years ago, but it's just like it stayed with me. And seeing this group of people, you know, of colors, and then this is too strong for me because I get emotional. Because guess who was in the middle of all those people, but looking at me, it was the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
It was I never read about him in my life before. And he was right there. So I got chills because it's just like I get emotional because he was right there looking at me. And I said, you know, like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but, you know, why me? And then what happened is, you know, the years later, when I started working in this project and putting things together, that image in my dream, I have it here, and everything started going, you know, my way, you know, because people, governor and politicians, they listen, you know, and I used to say, they listen to me? Yes, they do. They will. I mean, they were, you know, listening.
Yeah.
And so now, thank God, like you know, I told you, brother, I changed many lives. But it will be selfish of me if I stay here in Oakland and I don't expand this project to other people, because immigrants, they're not only here in America, they're all over Europe, and they need my help.
Yes.
Okay, so it's what I'm going to do. Looking for people who believe in this project, what we have done here in Oakland, and let's do things for others. But you know, outside of America, we need to help other brothers and sisters suffering, because they do suffer. You know, we think only here immigrants, and because I have this image of my immigrants, brothers and sisters, they're suffering before we start with this project, and now you see them, and it's just like their face changed now. They're so happy. Of course, they have the pocket full of money. Good, because money is very important. It's not everything, but it's very important. Because you solve problems, like sending the children to a university and getting their legal status. Because back then, we start with only few of them having a legal status. Now everybody's American citizen. I said, well, good, you know. So it was not only legalizing this business, but legalizing the entire community, you know, in many ways. In many ways.
Miss Amelia, if there's anyone out there, you like to speak into the camera, is anyone out there that'd like to help you with your project in Bristol, England?
Yes.
Let them know how they can do it.
It's probably for many of you up there gonna think there's a big thing that it's kind of hard or impossible. Just remember that we have our first white president in America, black president, I'm sorry, in America. That many people thought it was hard and impossible, and it happened. So the same thing with this project. We're going to Bristol, England, to help many brothers and sisters, talking about African community and many other communities, minorities over there. And so if any of you want to join us, welcome. Bashir will have my information, but you all welcome. If any other brothers or sisters out there wanted to use our kitchen, also Bashir have my information for the kitchen. I'm leaving to Europe the 16th, So I'll be in Bristol for 4 months. Very welcome anybody there who believe in this to join us. We will appreciate.
And that address again?
Oakland is 4559 International Boulevard. It's La Placita Commercial Kitchen.
And the phone number?
And the phone number is 510-927-1605. And you ask for Pam.
Okay, I want to thank you again. We're going to take another break and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah?
We want to encourage you to begin to think. Think about your circumstances, think about your environment, think about how responsible you are being. Think about your contribution to society, to the community. Think about what you can do differently. Think about how you can help others. And then after all of that thought, we want you to pray.
As a man or as a woman, that first responsibility is to God. To be God conscious.
We have to have people to stand up today in our community. Everybody has to be responsible to get the message out.
Hearing the word of God and remembering God and being conscious of God will transform your life.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Ms. Emil, you mentioned something about Prophet Muhammad, but I wanted to say the impulse of Prophet Muhammad revolutionized the human thought. It removed the false concept of what it means to be a human being. So Prophet Muhammad brought the idea that we all come from the same human family. So that's important. So we're all human beings. So that will allow us to work together as human beings. And so we should be thankful to that. The other thing that I want to say is I am very thankful for our TV for allowing us to make this presentation, because what we're doing, we are educating the world. We're educating Oakland. We're educating America. And Mr. Levy, could you please indicate to us the economic impact for Oakland that your project had?
Oh, it was just amazing. It was amazing. I still, having a hard time when I go back in time and say, wow, did I do all that? The beginning was kind of hard, but not that hard, because like I said, I have this thing on me that no matter what, I conquer the obstacles, and even politicians, I used to argue with them, and politicians, the police wanted to arrest me, I fight back, and I don't let nobody stand in my way, because I was doing something not for me, I was doing something for the poor, for the people of Oakland, which was very important, because it was one of the reasons they brought me here. You see, who brought me here? I don't know, but somebody told me, welcome home, Emilia. And I said, it's you. Okay, so I stayed, and I knew that I was going to make a difference here in Oakland. I knew there was a reason for me to be here. I don't know what, but I knew that I have a reason. And for a reason, because it's also as a writer, I was already open doors in Mexico City, but it was like a foreign land for me, because here was my place in America, because I already was living here. And so then I thought that I was going to be this famous politician. And then I thought that I was going to be this famous writer. I thought that I was going to be a designer, because I design clothes, I design hats. And I'm an inventor. I invented, the executive table for cars. And then I thought that I was going to have this amazing life. I was going to be rich and powerful. But then when I got here in Oakland, I saw something totally different. Yeah. You see, I was already in Baltimore, very close to Washington. I was already organizing people over there. Yeah. But my daughter called me, my daughter, Chloe's mom, and she said, I want you to come in and babysit for me, because she was in college and she was, going to be graduating, and she needs somebody like me to come and take care of my granddaughter. I said, for how long? And she said, oh, a couple of weeks or maybe a month. When I come out, you know, when I walk outside of the airport, Oakland Airport, just this voice said, welcome home, Emilia. And I truly believe that. I said, this is home? This is home? I mean, it's just like, oh, you know, because it just was an impact, but I knew in my heart that yes, I was not crazy, because, you know, I accepted it. And then when I started putting everything together, everything was coming so fast, so fast. And then when we realized the first thing that I did to taste the water is, I want to come with something big, bigger than me. Yeah. What is that? Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah,
so,
you say that.
You know, the politician said, well, okay, well, you know, you cannot make this big thing because, and the International Boulevard, I said, either you let me approve me to have it an International Boulevard, or I didn't do it. Oh, no, okay.
Excuse me, you did that?
Yes. I even have a big award, the best ever. Yes.
Wow, I mean, I say that like that, you know.
Yeah. So then, you know, when I see the boom that they were planning that I was going to bring only like 5,000 people, I said, you don't know Emilio Otero. Yeah. Okay? I mean, 5,000, I can, you know, put that in the San Antonio Park. Yeah. You know? Yeah. This I'm going to fill from International Boulevard from Fruitvale all the way to 47. And that's a lot of blocks. So, yeah, we bring more than 75,000 people. Yeah. It's in the newspaper. I want to find that in Oakland Tribune, the best ever, Cinco de Mayo. Well, it was Emilio Otero. Then is when I knew right there that the rest was going to work. Yeah. You see, this project is going to work. This project is going to benefit the communities, because even if the whole year is going to be, you know, not that good, but Cinco de Mayo is going to be good for all the street vendors. They're going to make, you know, tons of money.
Yes.
And that's what happened. I mean, the fruit vendors were making like, incredible, like $10,000. Yeah. The fruit vendors in one day.
Wow.
You know, save your money, send your kids to college, okay? So this is how, you know, and so the economy was, you know, it booms. I don't know the percentage now, you know, how much it grow, but a lot. Yeah. Fruitvale District is one of the biggest contributors of the city of Oakland, money-wise, taxes.
You know, I'm kind of smiling. You said you landed in Oakland.
Yeah.
And you landed in America, but you know, what does the Constitution say? It say, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes. For me, it was more than pursuit of happiness, to make other people happy. So for me, making other people make money, solve the material, because you see, in my past, you know, I was never poor. I learned to be poor here in America. Yeah. I'm not this poor Mexican girl that come here to look for an opportunity. No. Yeah. You see, I came here by choice, because I said, there's where I have to be, in America. But all my family was already here. But I was not, you know, the poor typical Mexican they want to come to America to make money. I was coming to America to help other people. Back then, 17 years old, I have no idea. In all this time when I started, you know, working as a writer, or working as you know, designer, or doing presentation, no idea. That 20 years later I was going to land in Oakland. No idea. My husband brought me here in 1968, and he wanted to buy a property here in Oakland. And I said, you got to be kidding me. You know, I will never move to Oakland. I stayed in South California. And almost 20 something years later, you know, I came to Oakland, and there's the voice, you know, welcome home, Emilia.
we believe that,
And I know it's a Latino because I pronounce very clearly my name.
we really believe that Almighty God has His
Yes.
hand on you, Miss
totally
Amelia, and
totally
even Brother Muhammad here and myself. You know, I never dreamed that I would be involved in this work. You know, they had given up on me. You know, but it's not about me. It's about you today, and we're so happy. And we're honored. And when you get back, we want to know all about. We want to have you back here with us again. Am I right, Brother Muhammad?
Yes.
To tell us
Yes.
the work that's going on in, in Bristol, England.
Yes.
You know, and when you told us, you don't know how you was able to get a meeting with the mayor of England.
The mayor of, not England, Bristol.
Bristol,
I mean, like here, one day I was unknown. Nobody knows who I was. I used to work in international. Hi, my name is Emilio Otero. I'm a community organizer and I'm here to help you. But then I was sitting down with the governor or with the mayor of the city of Oakland or the other council members, you know, and like I told you in the last segment, they listened to me. The same happened with the governor in Mexico. You know, the Jalisco governor, the one that helped me, this is another story, it's a long story I told you, the one that helped me put all the first 25 pushcart here in Oakland, it was a governor. And I said, I called and I said, I want to meet him with the governor. And they said, well, do you have something, like a reference letter? I said, no, but I will send for one. And then the next day I was sitting with the governor. Bristol. I mean, we're talking about England. And then I call and leave a message. And I send an email. My name is Emilio Otero, and this is what I do. And Google my name. You know, because I can't tell people the whole history of my life. It's in Google. Yeah. And then I said, Google my name. And then he responded next day.
Wow, that's good. That's excellent. Wow.
And then, I was introduced to the mayor, and I was introduced to one of the councilors over there. Is a parliament, so it's different than here. So, and he's from Pakistan.
Yeah.
A Muslim.
Yeah.
And the mayor is the first black mayor in Bristol.
Well, Mr. Amelia, when you see him, tell him that Bashir, Muhammad Ali, Brother Gerald, say Assalamu alaikum.
Yes. I will.
Tell him tell him we send the greetings of peace to him.
Yes.
Yeah. And one more thing, you mentioned Second of Mind, I played in a Latin jazz band for 11 years, so when you said that perked me up because I love Latin jazz, but it's just amazing to be with such a person who's had such a great impact on the city of Oakland.
Yeah.
That's the blessing right there. It's a blessing for Oakland.
Let me tell you what it made me so proud of everything. That when Gerald Brown, the governor, legalized this business statewide, it made me so proud because he knew me, he knew who I was, he knew everything started here in Oakland, and when he legalized this business, it's just like he never told me, but it feel like in your honor, Miss Otero, and that's it. It was just like, okay, now have to go global. This is global. They have to be global.
Yeah.
We have to open doors.
Well, that's a natural step. You can go to Tokyo and buy some Kentucky Fried Chicken. You can go to Saudi Arabia and buy Kentucky Fried Chicken. You can go to Europe and buy Starbucks. So that's natural.
Yes, it is natural if we go to Europe and introduce the food business in wheels.
Yeah.
Because they're already start, you see, but they're not organized. They don't know how to put it together. That's why I'm going to put it together and show them, you see, that this is a new food industry that you can provide jobs for so many people, even if it's a temporary. You can do that, and you can make money, more money than if you open a restaurant. Don't invest in open a restaurant. I'm sorry, I know it's an association, a restaurant association, but buy a fruit truck. You know, you don't have to sell tacos either. You know, sell whatever, you know, your specialty is and cooking, and is money. And you never gonna lose money on food.
No.
My mom and my family, all my family run restaurants in San Diego, and my mom I used to hear my mom saying there, you never lost money in food.
Food, clothing, and shelter.
Wow, that's interesting.
And
that's major industry. I mean, really, it's major industry.
Not only about food right now,
yes.
it's about everything, because right now I'm trying to convince these young people to you know, they're in the cosmetology business or hair cutting, and you know, get you a van with a seat there and go, you know, mobile. You know, and the beauty salon go global. I mean, mobile.
You know, I saw a mobile haircut truck in East Oakland a couple of days ago.
I've been encouraging people for that. I said everything we can from now on. You see, because you open a barbershop. You know, if nobody walking into your barbershop, how are you going to pay the rent?
Yeah.
But if you put together a bus or something, so open your barbershop, you never have to worry for that.
Never have to worry. And the overhead, the rent.
That's
it's just like, it's amazing. I've been telling them for years. And so I'm pushing, I've been telling young people, you know, you can do this, you can do everything global. You don't have to be, mobile. You don't have to be food.
Yeah.
Come on, you can make everything. So this is the thing that I'm taking to Europe too.
Very good. Okay, we would like to thank you very much for your presence. As a matter of fact, we are honored, brother. And I'd like to thank you, Brother Bashir, for bringing me into the life of Miss Amelia, because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and thank you again. You know, you are a very, very honorable person. Thank you very much.
And you know, I get like I always tell everybody, I get my instruction from my holy book, the Quran. God tells me to go forward, equip lightly or heavily, but go meet people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And okay, this is the end of our program, and we want to thank you for visiting us. Our TV. We want to thank our TV, Fame, and the intent of Fame is to bring a sense of understanding to the human family. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
We want to encourage you to begin to think. Think about your circumstances, think about your environment, think about how responsible you are being. Think about your contribution to society, to the community. Think about what you can do differently. Think about how you can help others. And then after all of that thought, we want you to pray.
As a man or as a woman, their first responsibility is to God. To be God conscious.
We have to have people to stand up today in our community. Everybody has to be responsible to get the message out.
Hearing the word of God and remembering God and being conscious of God would transform your life.
I'm Niamat Shaheed with the esteemed panel, Fame, friends and associates of Imam Mufti Muhammad. Have a blessed evening, and we'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Faraftu iblis wa jami' al-mafasidi. Wa bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qasamtu Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam.
I woke up this morning and started praying, I had to get up real early before the rising sun. I was feeling real sleepy, but I knew where to meet me, Cause I was praying all night for the light to soon come. It was swiftly, it hit me like a Nayalini drum. And it sounded like music coming from Kenya. forms appeared and I could hear people jamming. It was the comforting prophet and his companions. I never thought sallallahu alaihi wasallam would materialize in my household and be my imam. Then a shining light appeared with the sound of a great bomb. It was the angel Jibril alaihi wasallam. His voice was so calm. He said, come with me, I won't make you see. There is a work only you can complete. Come and take a ride on the bright side. Travel 7 heavens to the most high. Just then the whole crew transported to a planet of lost souls, defiled and distorted. He said you must spread the message of Islam and warn the people before we destroy their kingdom.